my name is Justine Payne-Skates, and today we're going to be going over composing and decomposing double base 10. So this standard is made for kindergartners. It's working with numbers 11 through 19 to gain foundations for place value. Compose and decompose numbers from 11 to 19 into 10 ones and some further ones by using objects or drawings, and record each composition or decomposition by drawing or equation. So, for example, 18, you would need one 10 frame and 8 ones. Understand that these numbers are composed of 10 ones and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9 ones. So to start off with this lesson, we have our 10 frame. A 10 frame is a long box with 10 spaces. To show numbers on a 10 frame, we fill in the top row first from left to right. So our first row has 5 squares. Our second row has another 5. So when we put both of these rows together, we're going to end up with our filled 10 frame. So over here we can see that they use different color chips to use. So the orange represents 2 ones, green, red, blue, and yellow. And this will help STEM too when they get, I believe it's in 2nd grade that they can start learning multiplication. So this is a really good technique too for skip counting as well. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Another one, we have 7 plus 9. So we have the first row is filled for 5, plus another 2 to make 7, plus another 2 to make 9. This row here, we have 3 different numbers that we're adding. So we have 3 ones, 2 ones, and 5 ones to equal a total of 10. Over here, they use 2 10 frames. So they are showing 6 over here plus 4 to equal 10. Personally, I would have just kept it all in one 10 frame to show that we're filling in tens. To make this, to use the second frame, that's when I would start using it for teens. So we can use 10 frames for subtraction as well. So our original problem here shows 5, 10, so we have one 10 frame filled for 10, and 2 over here, so 10 plus 2 is 12, and they are taking away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so they're taking away those 5 counting chips to leave us with 7 over here. So the 10 frame is pretty helpful and it's pretty visual as well. Over here, we have the 10 frame cut and paste. So like what Dr. D uses, I use the post-it notes, which was very helpful. So over here we can start. So we have 1, 1, so we have 2 ones over here. So we would take our post-it and we would place it there. Now this one, if we can get really good at it, we wouldn't really necessarily need to count this row. If we know that this is already 5, then we could just place our 5 here. Again, it's just single 1. Now this one, if we know that the one row is filled equals 5, and we see an extra chip here, we will know that this is 5 plus 1 to make it a total of 6. And then just like knowing that the first row is 5, if the second row is filled, we get our 10 frame to be completely filled. Over here we have 3. Now this one, we can do either addition or subtraction. So we can see that our 10 frame was almost filled, but we're missing 1, so that'd be 10 minus 1 to equal 9. Or we can count by our 5s and then go 1, 2, 3, 4 more 1s. So we can do 5 plus 4, or we can do 10 minus 1. This one again, same concept. We see that our 5 is filled and we have 3 ones to make it 8, or we have 2 missing spots from our 10 frame, so it would be 10 minus 2 to equal 8. And then once more, our 5s are filled with 2 extras, so 5 plus 2 equals 7, or we have 10 minus 3 to equal 7. And this one, our last one, we have 4. So now looking at 10 frames with teen numbers. So this is where our standard is really stemming from. This right here I would use as to make sure that my students understand the concept of the 10 frame and how to look to see when the 10 frame is full. So over here, all of our 10 frames are full, so now we're looking at 10s. So 10 plus what will get us to 15? Well, if we come over here and count, we would have 1 for 11, 2 for 12, 3 for 13, 4 for 14, and 5 for 15. So we just added 5 counting chips to make our 15. Now to do 17, one or two ways we could do this. We know the bigger concept. If we know that one 10 frame is filled, and if we know another 10 frame is filled, to make 20, 17 is how many spaces away from 20? Well, we'd have 18, 19, and 20. So we'd be 3 spaces away. So that means that we can just circle or color in or place our counting chips in there and leave 3 spaces empty. Or we can count 5 plus 2 to make 7 to get our 17. And then last but not least, we have 14. So 14, there we go. So 14, that's going to be 4 extra ones or 6 empty squares, depending on if you want them to focus more on addition or subtraction. So we're going to have 1 space that's not filled for our 5, and we're going to have 6 spaces not filled for our full 10. So it's counting with T numbers with using the 10 frame. Over here we have 10 frames as subtraction. So here we have our 10 frame filled, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, no, 4 plus 3 is 7. So we have 17, take away 9. So what we do here is that we would take away the 9. So we have 1, take away, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And that will leave us a total for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Another one, 14 minus 11. So this one, what I would do here is that 11 is 1 10 frame plus 1. So I would just get rid of all of those, that 1 10 frame, and another one to get me a total of 3. And here we have 11 take away 5. I'm just going to get rid of 1 row to leave me with 6 more. And then 13 take away 8. Instead of going backwards this way, I could take a 1 full row, because I know that's 5, and 3 more for 5 plus 3 to equal 8. And that would leave me with 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. With this one, I think this gives a lot of creativity for the kids to decide how they want to take away the chips and what kind of pattern they want to make. This one, so for all my kids, especially with kids like with special needs and I need to have them work more on their fine motor skills, I would use the little puff balls and use like tweezers and those little scoop things to really help with their fine motor skills. Using Play-Doh as a counting chips will really help with like their sensory. And then to get their bodies moving, we can put a 10 frame onto the floor so that way the students themselves can become the counting chips, and that's always really fun. This one I think is a good daily practice that can be implemented quickly. I mean, if it's in a cubby or in little pouches, they could grab a daily task if they're waiting for something to do in class, if there's some downtime. They can easily go grab the little box of it and do this at their desk. They can have the counting blocks, and I think they could do it by themselves or with peers. And this here with the counting chips, I really like the different colors. I think I'm a visual, so when I know that I'm either adding or subtracting, I think it's, if you have a 10 frame and 3 over here and you need to take away 5, then you can flip those ones that you're subtracting over so that way you can visualize and see what the 10 frame used to be and what is left over. So I think that's really good for people that need like the visual cues that way. And I like this one too because I like the idea. It's the same concept of using like tweezers and using scoops, but incorporate food in there. I mean, why not incorporate donut holes to put in the 10 frame box? So yeah, this is my composing and decomposing double base 10 for kindergarten standard. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.